Changes expected to come this week to Michigan schools, and that could affect how teachers are evaluated.
It could also change when the school year starts. For some, 24-Hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia spent the afternoon in Lansing checking on the progress of the race to the top legislation.
Brian and Susie, these changes, give Michigan a chance to compete for $4 billion in federal funds. But lawmakers have to act quickly.
It's not just about the money. It's about making sure we have good, solid reforms that will allow kids to have opportunities, particularly where some schools are failing.
But Pontiac State Rep Tim Melton admits the money has prompted swift action by the legislature on ideas, some of which he's been talking about for months. Among them,
teacher evaluations. We have some schools that have horrible performance, but all the teachers are rated exemplary.
So teacher performance could be tied to how their students perform, and the legislation would broaden teacher certification requirements, allowing programs like Teach for America into the state.
The University of Michigan is the largest producer of Teach for America teachers, and not one of them stays in the state of Michigan.
Then there are changes that would affect only low-performing schools.
Where there are poor results right now, maybe a graduation rate of 60% or low performance, or the bottom 5% of all schools in the state of Michigan.
First, those low-performing schools would be allowed to change their calendars and start before Labor Day. It's something Lowell State Rep Dave Hildenbrand says will be a sticking point as state lawmakers work to finish the legislation this week.
We had the discussion about when we should have school in the school year in Michigan, and we've already had that debate in the legislature, and so to go back and reverse that's pretty difficult to do.
And charter school operators deemed to be high-performing will have more room to expand in areas where traditional public schools have been low-performing. Melton says there's been pushback, but he says it is the legislature's responsibility.
We've got schools that have been failing persistently for 30 and 40 years. We're responsible at the end of the day.
Other possible sticking points, some Republicans worry Democrats will try to jam too many changes into this legislation that aren't needed because there is so much haste to get this done. Another is definitions. What is a low-performing school? Grand Rapids Public Schools leaders actually want in on that list so they can have the chance to open their own charter schools. You'll remember that GRPS, along with Comstock Public Schools in Kalamazoo County and Lakeview Public Schools in Calhoun County, are all part of the state's application for these federal dollars. Brian?